How much sleep do kids need? Turns out the recommendations for that are changing. Andrea Petersen has been looking into some of this research, and we're so happy she's here on lunch break to tell us about it. How are you?
Good. How are you?
Good. So let's back up. How much sleep have kids been thought to have needed?
Well, it's really interesting.
Time?
This is a new study in the journal Pediatrics, and researchers in Australia went and looked back at sleep recommendations for kids over the last century, and they went back from parenting books in the late 1800s, from 1897 all the way through 2009, and found that the recommendations have actually decreased by about 70 minutes over the last century, which, interestingly enough, is actually almost exactly the amount of time that kids' sleep has decreased.
Interesting.
Actual sleep has decreased over the century.
Are their bodies changing? Why are they recommending less?
It's interesting.
Not much physical labor? I don't.
It didn't look at to sort of why the recommendation, the interesting thing was that there didn't seem to be much actually scientific underpinning for the recommendations. And so that's one of the sort of conclusions of the study.
Right.
But another interesting thing is that the reason why kids are not getting enough sleep as recommended, it seems to be actually kind of perennial. In 1897, people blame school books, and early 1900s radio for keeping kids up late at night.
Meaning school books, like they stayed up.
They stayed up reading, and studying.
And now it's Angry Birds.
Right, exactly. Now it's TV or the internet. But it's always been, technology is sort of the culprit behind why kids aren't getting enough sleep. But this is all happening against a backdrop. There's a growing body of research that's showing the really negative health outcomes of not getting enough sleep for kids.
Right.
Poor performance in school, obesity, greater risk of depression, anxiety. So there's actually some serious health ramifications from this.
And I know your reporting in the past has showed this is true for adults too.
Exactly.
You can actually have performance failure in some cases, right? If you don't get enough sleep.
Yes.
And you think the same thing would be also for kids.
Right. And you do see, that kids do suffer in school if they don't get enough sleep.